So in 2017, I came across Philips selling all sorts of stuff, one of which would be this epilator, which I really wanted to have. And as soon as I noticed that it is on a discount, for whatever amount, I purchased it. So I think this is about 2,500 back then, and they were selling it at 2,000 pesos, so I quickly grabbed it. I've always wanted to have this because my best friend came over to the Philippines in 2003. She lives in Chicago and she brought this, and I was so envious because she can take off all the hair on her legs, both legs, without any trouble, without any problems. While for me during that time, I need a razor, and I used to use a disposable razor, which sucks a lot. And the saving grace would be I would spend so much for shaving cream so that I'd have that really nice smooth shave. But it's super expensive and it requires me to do it like almost every day. I was able to ask dermatologists to take off the hair on my underarms using Intense Pulse Light. So that's done. But my legs, I thought, I cannot spend so much just for hair, so I used to shave a lot, and I used to spend a lot. In the latter part, I would use the Schick, which has its own built-in soap framing the razor itself. So it has four blades, and then the blade would be in the middle, and it would have a soap. So I don't need to buy the shaving cream anymore. So that was really good. I went on using that for years and years, maybe 5 or 7 years, until I finally found this one. And I thought to myself, it would be the best time for me to actually purchase this, and I have never looked back. This has been one of the best buys in my entire life because I would no longer need to purchase expensive razor that's meant for women, an expensive razor that's meant for me to protect myself from nicks and cuts, and I don't need to worry about the next day. I worry sometimes because if I didn't shave, that my legs would feel rough because of the regrowth, and I really hated that. I really hated the rough legs. I had those. If you've been shaving long enough, you would know how it turns rough. Like, even if you do it daily, it's just, you're worried that if you will have an overnight, if you didn't bring your stuff, your girl things, and it's a mess. But this comes in handy because I can bring this anywhere. I can bring this to my travel. I used to have a travel buddy, and he said, "Does it hurt?" And I said, It does, but I'm numb to it. It's okay. It's okay. It's just like tiny pinpricks, like very tiny, very minimal, and sometimes it hurts, but you can just shake it off. I think I bought this in October of 2017, so roughly about 3 years, I bought my next one. I noticed, because I've been dropping this, and that's one thing that you shouldn't do with your epilator. You should avoid dropping it. And I also had an emergency before. I forgot that I had my period, but I had to take care of some business down there, and I cannot go to a waxing salon because I'm having my period, so I used this in my bikini line, and I think that was a bad idea. The hair on my legs I think the strands are different. Sometimes some would grow, and this week the others would grow, so they're like bicycling in their growth, so they're not like growing all together in one go. They are sparse. I thought maybe that's the reason why after a while it doesn't work anymore on the thin strands of hair on my legs. So I think maybe it's high time to actually buy another one. I also noticed that sometimes one of the discs would get dislocated, and I was worried because I thought, hey, what's going on? Something is scratching my leg. And I was so worried. I just pushed it back, and it went back, but I was like, what if I cut myself with this? So, the moment I saw another bazaar, and this time I think it's already about 2,900 a piece, and they're selling it for $1,799, and I'm like, this is even cheaper than how I purchased it 3 years ago. I will use this just for my legs, and I will use this for my bikini line, the old one. So I will have a different epilator for my bikini line and for my legs. I noticed that this one actually captures and takes off even the thin strands. Even if it feels like this is the best purchase ever, you still need to repurchase. And for me, I think 3 years is a good time to actually repurchase your epilator. And maybe if you don't drop it and you don't use it with any other body part aside from one part, if you designate it to just one part, maybe it could last longer. But I don't know, because for me, it's about 2.5 years and I've dropped it many times. I noticed that this new one has a flat cord, because the old one is round, or kind of like a cylindrical type of cord, while this one is a flat cord, the new one. But they have the same how do you call this, this thing is the same for both. It's the same. It's just a two-pronged power cord. The look and the color, they're the same, exactly the same. The shape is the same. The weight is the same. I think even the box is the same. So there you have it. That's my review on the Philips Epilator. I highly recommend it even if I had to repurchase, because I feel like 3 years of savings, just spending 2,000 pesos or even its regular price at 3,000 pesos is still a good deal versus you purchasing a lot of those shaving creams, shaving soap, the razor in itself, and worrying if the razor is already infected. Sometimes it also develops rusting, even if it's new. So if you don't want to worry about those stuff, I really recommend that you try this. If the best investment I've ever had on my body, like skincare, is to have that intense pulse light treatment on my underarms, just so I don't need to shave my underarms anymore, because that's really annoying. That's even more annoying than shaving my legs. This is probably the best purchase I've ever had long term, that has really benefited me long term for wherever skincare goes. This has given me a lot of savings so far, so I recommend that you try it. If you have any similar comments or any comments in general about your experience with Philips Epilator, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And I hope that we can exchange some experiences, because who knows what will happen in the next couple of months or years. But I'll continue to use this, and I'm so glad I already have two now. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye!